Hey, 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 it is Wednesday. We are live here at On Again. I'm going to give you guys some music while I make sure that all of our tech is working. Good to see you. Good to see you today. I have a real hot topic today. Real hot topic. We're going to be talking about getting offers accepted
from within our own bodies, guiding us through our reflections.
Tell your friends. Hop on in so you can get the inside information about getting your offer accepted today. All right, bear with me. I am on these Facebook pages. I want to make sure I can get us all settled in today. Okay. So come on in, invite your friends, invite your family members, invite those folks who are thinking about buying, those who are not on the market yet. And if you are here, let me let you, I want to make sure that I can see everybody who is making comments. Okay, so please do give StreamYard permission to access your Facebook account so I can respond to you. Okay, all right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to On Again. And here we go. All right. So if you are joining us for the very first time, I'm excited to introduce myself. I eliminate confusion for buyers by giving them key strategies to unlock resources to purchase their dream home. And you can search for your dream home at GershaPorter.com. And today I hope to give you some key resources so that you can get your offer accepted. So welcome, welcome. If you could, please do give StreamYard permission to access your account so I can know who I'm talking to. All right. I usually have it all queued up and I'm not sure what's happening today, but you should hopefully see the prompt from StreamYard to tell you to let them access your account. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to get your offer accepted in the seller's market. We've been talking about the market. It is on fire. It is on fire for sellers because sellers today are getting top dollar. They are receiving offers $5, $10, $20, $65,000 over the list price has been my personal experience. So how are they getting that? Because there are just not enough homes. There are not enough homes on the market. Now, we are in our traditional selling season. So real estate is usually very vibrant and happening and moving along during the months of May till around October. So this is normally our busy time. And a lot of properties will normally go on the market. But today, folks who were thinking about selling their home, they are absolutely selling their homes because they know that they're going to get more in 2021 than they could have gotten in 2019 or 2018. We're going to kind of make last year a wash because of the pandemic, but the market was hot in 2020 as well. So right now, the question is, how do you get your offer accepted? Okay. One more thing I just want to make sure. All right. So how do you get your offer accepted? We're going to go through some of those key points today. If you have questions, if you have suggestions, if you could think of other ways to make your offer more savvy, more sexy, more acceptable, please do drop it in the comments. I will go back if I don't catch it today and I will agree with you. I will support the statement with a little bit more information. I'll correct it. The facts if they're not correct. So just go ahead and let's talk about it. And if this is you and you are thinking about how to get your offer accepted and you're not working with a realtor, book a call with me. We'll talk about how we can make your plans to buy a home in this selling season, I did. Okay. I have a lot of what they call receipts. You can talk to my buyers. I have a buyer settling next week. I have one that settled about 2 weeks ago. I have worked with sellers, so I know what's happening on the other side as well when sellers are getting offers. And the other thing is when I work with buyers and I submit their offer and it's not accepted, I get feedback from the listing agent. I say, hey, can you tell us why our offer wasn't accepted? And most of the agents will let us know. Okay. So please do ask questions if you have them. Throw out some suggestions if you're thinking of some other ways that we can go about getting your offer accepted and we can have a conversation. Okay. So let's see what are some of the ways that you can get your offer accepted in this seller's market. Well, one of the key pieces is you have absolutely got to get pre-approved. And what does that mean? You want to talk to a lender who will gather your information. They're going to look at your bank statements, your pay stubs. They're going to look at your tax returns. They're going to make sure that your debt to income ratio is where it needs to be by per the guidelines of the lender that you're working with. Okay. They're going to look around and see whether or not you're eligible for any down payment assistance programs, any closing cost assistance programs, any employer programs that would help you with the money you may need to purchase a home. So let's get you pre-approved, pre-qualified, okay? Not just what is your credit score, and yes, you may fall here within a price range. We want them to dig deep, get all the information they can so they can give you accurate information. The next piece is so important. Let's not get frustrated. I had one of my buyer clients email me. Well, she texted me today and said, well, it just seems like this is not the right time to buy. Well, it's the right time to buy, but you've got to be ready to go all in. You've got to be ready to get what you want, and that's a home. So make sure that you are ready, that you're not going to get frustrated, because yes, it is absolutely going to be not easy, but nothing worth having is easy. So we will work together. We will get you equipped. I will give you advice and consultation to help you make the best offer that you can. And those offers are so personalized and individual because everybody's financial situation, their home life situation, their work situation is so different. So please don't get frustrated because yes, you may be submitting more than one offer. You may be submitting 5 or 6 offers before you get that ideal home. So we got to get prepared and not be frustrated. The next tip is limit the amount of seller contributions. So your friends and family members who bought homes 5 and 10 years ago, they're going to tell you stories of how the seller gave them $3,000 and $5,000 and $10,000 towards their purchase. Not today, not in this market. Why? Because the seller has choices. And when you submit your offer, if the next offer is not asking for any seller contribution, you know they're going with that one. The sellers want to make as much money as possible. So when you ask for a seller contribution, and that's the official terminology, you may have heard of things like seller help, seller concessions, but a seller contribution is the seller giving you some of their money, which means they're giving up some of their profit. This market, they are not trying to give you a dime. Okay. So if you have to ask for a seller contribution, please try to limit it. And the only way you're going to know about how much you're going to need and how that's going to look in your offer is through that pre-approval process. Goes right back to the top again. Okay. So we're going to need to understand how much cash do you need? I'll tell you, I'm telling buyers, save your money. Save. If we aren't getting that first offer, that second offer, that third offer, you've probably gotten paid once or twice in between. Save some more money so that the next time we make an offer, you need even less from the seller. Or you can make a more substantial down payment. So your offer just looks stronger. Okay. So limit the amount of seller contribution is one of the keys to getting your offer accepted. All right. Remove certain contingencies. When I talk to buyers, they say, well, what is a contingency? There are usually about 5 big contingencies. 1 is going to be a home inspection. 2 is financing. 3 is any type of down payment or homeowner assistance program that you're participating in. It's a contingency because you need it to close. Okay. The financing, you need it to close. The home inspection, if you include it, you're going to need that to continue along the process to get to close. Okay. So those are 3 of the big ones that you have some flexibility over. Settlement date is a contingency, but we can usually come to terms on that. Down payment. How much earnest money deposit will you make when you submit your offer? Now, an earnest money deposit is not a contingency, but it is one of the factors that the seller is going to consider. So remove that from what I just mentioned about contingencies. It is one of the factors that they consider. But the contingencies are things that must occur in order for you to settle. Okay, you must get that loan in order to settle. You must get that down payment assistance program in order for you to settle, and you must have a home inspection, right? So those are some of the contingencies that you want to think about removing. And a lot of buyers, when we start out, they want a home inspection, and what they learn after not getting 1 or 2 homes in this particular market is that a lot of sellers are accepting offers that have no contingency. I'm not saying that this is what you need to do, but it's something that perhaps you could consider. And we could talk about those strategies as we work closer and move forward to you purchasing a home. Next couple of tips. Work with a buyer's agent. And you say, well, Gersha, what is a buyer's agent? A buyer's agent is the agent who represents you. That is the agent that you've decided to work exclusively with. You've signed a buyer representation agreement. They represent you. They don't represent the seller. So all the information they're going to get is for your best interest. All the recommendations and the suggestions they're going to give you as you walk through the process of purchasing a home, it's going to be for you to be in the driver's seat and most strategic to purchasing a home. So the person on the sign, the person in the ad, if you see a home for sale, you're like, oh, it's listed by Mary Jo with ABC Realty. She represents the seller. She does not represent you. And that is the way real estate works here in the state of Maryland. Okay, so work with a buyer's agent, somebody who's intimately familiar with your financing situation, somebody who knows all the facts around you moving, you buying, your family, your desires, your wishes, your wants on your next home. Okay. The next tip is be ready to close quickly. Yes, I have had buyers want to write offers for 60 days, meaning when you submit the offer, your settlement date is about 60 days out. Sellers don't want to wait 60 days. They don't. Hey, Joe, thanks so much for joining us today at our Own Again show. Thank you so much. Sellers don't want to wait 60 days. I'll tell you, sellers would really like to settle in 30. A lot of buyers who are using some of the down payment assistance programs, they need, and their lender will tell them up front, we need at least 45 days to settle. So there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do about that. So you're going to write an offer with a 45-day settlement. So when sellers are looking at offers, they're going to weigh your settlement date. Okay. So there are ways to figure out, well, if you're in an apartment and your lease isn't up for 3 months, you need to find out, well, how much does it cost to break your lease? You need to find out when will your first payment be due, and can you do some overlapping? Can you pay your rent? Can you pay your mortgage? Will it be a moment before your mortgage is due? Usually it is. And so we can strategize about dates if you are currently in a lease. If you stay with somebody else and you're not paying a mortgage there and you're not tied to that situation, sounds like you have more flexibility. So this is the tip. Be ready to close quickly. The next tip is offer over list. So what does list mean? List is the list price. So when you see a property advertised, that is the list price. So in real estate lingo, we say the list price. Some people call it the offer price, but the offer price is what's on your contract that you give the seller. That is your offer. That is your offer price. So the price that you see advertised, that is the list price. So when you see out there on all the apps that you're using, and I do hope you're using mine, my Homestead app, I'll make sure to drop it in the chat. You can then see what a property is listed for. So if a home is listed for $300,000, the question is, what do you offer? Traditionally, realtors, we do it still right now for you. We're going to pull the comps. That means what is actively on the market, what's under contract, and what has sold. The properties that have sold are the ones that really tell you, well, this is the trend in this neighborhood. But what we're seeing in the seller's market is homes are on the market, they go into contract for over the list price, and then they're going to settle over the list price. So you can take a look and you're going to see the trend. Every time a house is listed, the next one is sold for at least 5,000 more. That trend hasn't stopped. It probably will, but it hasn't stopped. So as you get out there right now to purchase a home, that is some of what you're going to look at. And if you say, well, the last house sold for 305, I'm going to tell you this next one is going to sell for more. And if you only want to offer 300, which is the list price, and you're working with me, that's what I'm going to write your offer for. And then what you're going to see is that either the listing agent will change the list price to the offer that they took. You're going to see a lot of that as well. Some agents are doing that. Or once it settles in about 30 days, you will see what the real settlement price was on that particular home. What did that buyer buy it for? Okay. So you do have to offer over the list price. So what do you need to do? You need to strategize and you need to start looking for homes less than your max. So if the most you want to pay for a house is 300, you should be looking at 250 houses. Okay. You want to look at 250 houses. You want to look at 275 homes. So you have some wiggle room in there to offer over the list price and still stay in your budget. Okay. The next tip I want to give you is to offer to pay some of the seller's closing costs. Now, you say to yourself, well, why would I want to do that? Well, because you're reducing their expense, which means they are making more on their home. Now, traditionally, when you do offer over list, the point I gave you before, the property must appraise, which means if it's listed for $300,000 and you've offered $325,000, the mortgage company that you're working with to get your loan, they will make a request for an appraiser, an independent professional who will go to the property that you are purchasing. They will take a look at that property, look at all the features, compare it to other properties that are similar that have sold, and they will come up with the appraised value. Typically, that's the amount that the bank is going to lend you. That's all you're going to get. So that's what you're going to pay for the home. Or when you made your offer, you may have agreed to pay the difference between the appraised price and the offer price. That's happening too. I'll say that again. Paying the difference between the appraised price and the offer price. So I'll go back to that example. The home was listed for $300,000. You offered $325,000. The seller accepted your offer. The appraiser went out to the property. They looked at the property. They went back to their office. They prepared their report, comparing it to other homes. They appraised a house at $320,000. So there's a $5,000 difference. And if you submitted your offer saying you're going to pay the difference between the appraised price and the offer price so that the seller knows they're going to get that $325,000, it means you have to go into your own pocket and come up with $5,000 cash. And you need to be prepared to do that because that was your offer. Okay. So there are some buyers who are prepared to do that. They have enough cash that they could pay the difference. And sometimes, and I've experienced it, when I represented a seller, the buyer offered $15,000 over the appraised value, and they paid that. Okay. So paying some of the seller's closing costs would mean when we have real estate transactions today, the seller has to pay title fees, and every seller in the state of Maryland, we pay transfer and recordation taxes, and they're usually about 3% of the purchase price. So instead of raising the price of the home because you already offered over list. Instead of offering way, way, way over list, you may offer a reasonable amount over the list price. And then what you will say is, I will also pay the seller's transfer and recordation. Okay, that is another way. That's some of the seller's closing costs. They have title fees to pay. So you may be in a position, and that becomes very, very attractive offer. So I am hoping that these 8 tips that I gave you today about how to go about getting your offer accepted is super helpful as you continue to navigate this seller's market that we are in right now. If you are looking for a very experienced realtor, me, who's been in this market before, when I started selling real estate in 03, around 05, 06, it was fast like this as well. This market is even faster, but it was fast and we had to do some strategic things then. So this is my second go round. I'd love to work with you. And hopefully these tips show you that I'm going to be able to help move your goal of becoming a homeowner forward with you. So book a call with me so we can talk about your ability to purchase a home in this seller's market and how I can work with you to make that happen. All right. Well, I'm hoping that those were helpful. If you have any additional ideas, drop it in the chat. So don't forget, I am working and I am looking for clients in my coaching program. Did you lose your home to foreclosure, short sale, bankruptcy, or divorce? Do you want to be coached back to your greatness of being a homeowner again? Come on, join our Facebook group. Come over to Own Again. You can go to my website, gershaporter.com. Click on the link. It'll take you right there. You'll learn all about what we are doing in our coaching program. Because yes, Black families coach with me when they are ready to silence the shame of no longer being a homeowner. If I will give you that confidence to go from stuck to unstoppable, so your mindset is healthy and you are no longer being held hostage. So go to Own Again, our Facebook page, join us, check out the details, learn about my story. Go to gershaporter.com, book a call with me if you want to own again. And if you haven't already, please do like and follow our Facebook page. I want to tell you about a couple other things that are coming up. So starting in July, the second Saturday of every month, I will be hosting an online homebuyer seminar. I may have some guests, title companies, lenders, credit repair experts. It may be me. So put a note on your calendar. I already have them posted in my Facebook group. On our Facebook page, Porter Premier Homes. You can go. It's connected to Eventbrite. You can find it there as well. Register. That way we can give you the links and the information that you'll need to join us at 10 o'clock the second Saturday of every month from July till the end of the year. One-on-one, you'll be able to ask questions. I'll give you great information in terms of what you need to do to continue your journey to home ownership. The next thing I want to just let you know is that I'm going to be taking a hiatus. Yep, today is the last Own Again show. I'm going to take a hiatus. I'll be back in the fall. So if you want to reach out to me, please do. DM me on Instagram, find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook in our Facebook page, Porter Premier Homes, or in our Own Again group. You can also schedule a time to talk with me on the phone using Zoom. I'll drop my link. We can definitely stay connected, but you won't be seeing me every Wednesday for the rest of the summer. It is summertime. It is our busy time as realtors. I'm going to be out there representing my buyers and my sellers, and I hope to see you. So some of you who've been my past clients, look out. We're going to have some socials. We're getting together. The masks are coming off, and we look forward to getting back and seeing each other again. So if you have any questions about the tips that I dropped today to help you get your offer accepted in the seller's market, please, please, please let me know. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the fall. Have a great rest of the day. Take care now. Bye-bye.